Oh, goody.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Mercenaries video. This one is going to be about the new patch that dropped today, 23.0.3. This one brings with it some changes, as it says here, provides balance updates to standard, wild, battlegrounds, as well as bug fixes and more. You may notice there is a notable omission from that text there, and that is Mercenaries. If you were like me, you were probably hoping that we would see a bit of balance adjustment in Mercenaries, given the state of the Trigore meta. It is definitely, I think, gotten a bit old for a lot of players, myself included, and I was really hoping we would see, at the very least, maybe some more buffs, and if nothing else, just a little bit of tuning of Trigore. However, if we scroll through the patch here, we got our card adjustments, all good stuff there, a little bit of battleground stuff, yep, some duel stuff even. But if we keep scrolling, we'll see there's no mercenary stuff in this patch. Yeah, this is pretty disappointing, in my opinion. I figured at least we would get some kind of an event or something maybe, because other than the changes that happened at 23.0, the mode really doesn't have a lot going on for it, and this is kind of what I was worried about with the way they decided to change the release cycle. Now, there are positives about the release cycle changing, but one of the big negatives is there's just these big droughts of content, or a lack of content, and one of Mercenaries' biggest strengths was the fact that there was always an ever-changing meta, kind of, and it kept things a bit more fresh and interesting. And now that we're on the cycle of doing it like a regular Hearthstone expansion, this is kind of what I was worried about, where there's just a meta is going to get solved or mostly solved, and then we are just stuck with it for who knows how long. Now, this is a smaller patch. It's not even a 23.1 or something. So maybe we will get some changes in a point 0.1 or point 0.2 patch. Reminder that the big Mercs drop seemed to come in the point 0.4 patch. So that's still a while out. That's probably not coming until like the end of May or early June. And that's quite a bit of time. That's at least another month. And I'm not too sure people are interested in sticking around in the PvP meta for another month. I'm not sure if I'm interested in sticking around in this meta for another month. It's just not very enjoyable. There is a high amount of RNG to the games, and it really feels like for the majority of comps, if you're not running Trigore, you're doing something wrong. This is an issue we've seen before, and I talked about it on my meta kind of tier list overview that I put up earlier today. But for me, at least, I was really hoping that we'd get at least something, and we don't even get bug fixes, which is something that really kind of annoys me, because there are some really annoying bugs in Mercenaries. Most of them specifically are like the cosmetic bugs, where your skins aren't saving, and sometimes your team comp names aren't saving. It's a small thing, but it really is quite annoying. And so the fact that we don't even get like a little bug fix to fix that when it's been around for like 3 patches now or something is pretty disappointing. It's really not what I was hoping to see, and I hope we can get some like decent stuff soon, because it's just such a bad thing for the mode to have these very long droughts where there's just nothing going on for it. It kind of disincentivizes, I think, a lot of people who were maybe maining the mode, or who it had become their kind of focus. Once you get to like near the end, where you got most of the characters done and you've beat the PvE, all there is PvP currently, and PvP is currently broken in half. I mean, generally, I think that what they've done with buffs has been a positive thing, but the danger with buffs is that sometimes they can be too good, and you have to be not afraid to rein it back in a bit. I don't want Trigore to become unplayable or as bad as he was pre-patch, but almost everybody I've talked to about the Trigore meta is in agreement that he was just pushed way too far, and now he has basically replaced Valeera as the character that warps the game around him entirely. So who knows? This is just a small balance patch and stuff. So it clearly wasn't carrying much more than that, even though there were some things for battlegrounds and duels and stuff. But I was really hoping we'd get at least a little bit of a bone thrown our way, and it does have me concerned for the future, because if this is the route they want to take with mercenary releases, they have to be more proactive about balancing their game, because otherwise people are going to stop playing it. I mean, it's really that simple. I think that given the state of the meta, a lot of players are not as interested in playing right now, and I don't think that's going to change until we see some new adjustments made. It's possible we get an event in the 0.1 or 0.2 patch to help hold us over a bit, but an event is not going to fix the problem that the Trigore meta has created, right? There's no character who's going to just pop in and suddenly a whole new comp's going to be viable, most likely. If that happens, they have to be overtuned to a level that's somewhere near Localar, because that's the only way you're going to be seeing Trigore take a notable hit in the meta. And I think it's just much cleaner to be like, hey, we messed up a little. Trigore is a bit stronger than we were intending. We still want him to be good, but tone him down a bit. Maybe don't make his attack stay permanent over multiple turns. Maybe don't make him trigger on AoE stuff when he dies. There's a variety of stuff you can do to adjust him subtly or not so subtly. Maybe even give a limit to how many times his thing can proc a turn. Bunch of ideas, but something, like literally something, anything would be a big help. And I do think even just buffing some characters that could act as a counter to him would be a decent strategy as well. We saw the Tyrande buff, the Varian buff, a bunch of these other buffs that were actually pretty good for the game. So I'm happy they did the buffs, but if you're going to take more proactive balancing stance, you have to actually, balance the game. And definitely unfortunate not seeing it in this patch, because they did say balance updates are something we can expect in more regular Hearthstone patches. But unfortunately, that's going to do it for this video, because there's nothing else to talk about for Mercs. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. Are you in the same boat as me? Are you kind of sick of the Trigore meta? Were you hoping for some changes? Because now it seems probably the earliest we can expect changes is like 2 weeks from now. Usually patches are at least 2 weeks apart. So now we're looking at, the second week in May or something, or maybe 0.1 or 0.2 patch or something. And then if that doesn't have it, we're basically waiting till the big drop in like probably late May, early June, if that's when it ends up happening. That's a long time to wait. And I think it really is doing a disservice to the game and the community having the meta be in this kind of state for so long. But that is going to do it for this video. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.